Well, good morning. Where you been hiding? I missed you the last couple of weeks. Actually, it's been I that have been missing. And I apologize for that. I apologize to our 10 listeners. No, I'm hoping we've got more than that. But I need to be more consistent. I was busy the last couple of weeks for this, that, or the other thing, so I wasn't able to record a show, but I'm back at it. We had our annual meeting, our 88th annual meeting for Farmers Electric Cooperative, and it was a good time, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But first and foremost, this is episode number 40. It's kind of a milestone, episode number 40. That's almost, 10 months, give or take? But it is exactly 20 hours of showtime. That's a lot of material on energy efficiency. That's a lot of savings if you're listening and then actually applying what you're hearing. And that's kind of the idea, I hope. Hey, listen, again, we had our annual meeting of members last Saturday here in Clovis. We haven't been in Clovis in 16 years. We had to do the math to figure that out. And it's been 16 years. It's hard to believe it's been that long. But it was high time we came back to Clovis. We normally go within our communities we serve outside of Clovis. Our headquarters is in Clovis. But we thought it's not fair to our Clovis members, so we thought, let's bring it back for at least 1 year, and then perhaps every other year or so we'll get back to Clovis. I have to do a little plug for the Civic Center. Clovis Civic Center, they did an amazing job hosting us and allowing us to use their facility. And it was turnkey. Leslie, out at the Clovis Civic Center, just did an amazing job. But the food was good, the people were good, the prizes were good, and it was good attendance. So it's just good all the way around. We had our first annual kite flying clinic for the kids that were between ages 5 and 12, and they seemed to have a good time. And we're going to put some of those pictures up probably next week sometime of our annual meeting on our Facebook page, Farmers Electric Cooperative of New Mexico, and then probably on our Morning Buzz page. We have a Facebook page for Morning Buzz with Energy Guy, so we'll be probably putting some of those pictures up as well. So our grand prize was cool. We had prizes for children, kids, and adults, but our grand prize was $1,000 in free electricity. So that was kind of exciting. We gave away a big television. It was like a 55-inch 4K LED. It was really nice. But all in all, great day. So we do build little goodie bags for for our members, our guests, and we pass those out at the very beginning along with some donuts and coffee and so on and so forth. We start our business meeting, and then we serve lunch and have the door prizes. But this year, we actually put a cool little funnel in there called Clean Funnel. I'm trying to remember who. Hoyt Pattison. Hoyt Pattison was a longtime resident of eastern New Mexico, actually lived right here in Clovis. He was educated, I believe, received his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from New Mexico State University. He just passed away not too awful long ago, maybe 3 years ago. But he invented these clean funnels. You've probably seen them around. The patent did finally run out on them, and so they're being made in China now, except his original store here in Clovis was purchased by someone else now, but they are keeping the tradition of making these clean funnels right here in the good old USA. So look around. There are some places out there that carry these locally. I don't know who else does. I would like you to go into Gbo's here in Clovis at the very least and say, hey, I see you've got these cleaner style funnels over here because they're made on the same pattern. They look just like these. So the idea is, the funnel, if you use something that's greasy, oily, or whatever, it's going to collect dust, right? And then that's going to end up in your motor at some point. So the idea is clean by putting a cool lid on top, and I'm screwing it on as I'm speaking. You might hear that in the background. And on the bottom, there's a small cap too. So they've got little lids or caps on both sides of the funnel. And we put a sticker on there so you could actually write in with a Sharpie whether, what oil weight it was, or if it's just transmission or brake fluid, et cetera, et cetera. But talk to those folks at Gebos and say, hey, I think we would prefer you carry these locally made, and Gebos is a regional, a Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico farm and ranch store, and they'd probably listen to you. Maybe they don't even know about these, but the ones they carry are those made in China, and as President Trump may say, China. But what we would prefer those made in Clovis in the United States. I did find one place here in Clovis that carries them. I know for sure because we found it on their website, and that is R&D Service Center. And I thought, they care about Clovis. They care about Clovis products. They're trying to help folks out. So I thought I'd do an on-air read for them. R&D Service Center in Eastern New Mexico is Eastern New Mexico's premier business for diesel repair. They are located on the east side of Clovis, between Clovis, New Mexico, and Texaco, New Mexico, on Highway 6084, next to Love's Truck Stop. Their business is dedicated to putting you back to work. They understand that every day your truck is out of commission, you lose money. Their goal is to get you back to business in the least amount of time possible. Furthermore, they want you to be happy when you leave their shop. The folks at R&D Service Center know time is money when you drive for work. So they do what they can do to get you back on the road quickly. R&D Service Center, 4900 Mabry Drive, Clovis. Call them today at 575-769-2215. That's 575-769-2215. And tell them you heard about them on Morning Buzz with the Energy Guy. You don't have to say it like that. But wouldn't it shock them if you did? Where'd you hear about us? Morning Buzz with the Energy Guy. And they're like, whoa, what? Never heard of them. But R&D is on our service, which is kind of cool. We provide them with their electrical needs, charge them monthly, and their lights stay on for most of the time. And, I thought it's a good idea to plug somebody local, especially when they want to help the local folks out at Clean Funnel. And I don't know that they've got a retail store out here. Their little warehouse factory, or whatever you want to call it, is located out here at what we call Farmer's Corner, which is Curry Road 14 and 209, Prince Street, North Prince Street. New Mexico 209 and Curry Road 14. I guess you could always go up and knock on the door. Say, hey, I'm here to buy a funnel. And they'll probably send you over to R&D Service Center. So, it is almost 10 minutes after the hour, so we got about 20 minutes. So, I think we've got a pretty good show today. It's going to be based on a question we had submitted on our Facebook page through Messenger. We got a question from Amy. Now, Amy, I hope you're listening. Since you sent us the question, we're going to use it. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. Dear Energy Guy, my husband and I don't have a lot of extra money after we pay all our monthly bills. We want to do something around our house to help with efficiency, but at the same time, don't want to break the bank. Any ideas? Thanks in advance. Amy. Well, Amy, this is your lucky day. Yes, so I think a lot of us, and a lot of us listening probably, or a lot of you all listening are probably in this very same predicament. Gasoline prices right now are approaching $4 a gallon, so that's not good. Hey, we've had rain. And it's nice. We had quite a bit of rain yesterday, Friday, and that was nice. I say quite a bit. It was steady, off and on, but I haven't. It seems like I heard we got 4/10 total, which is really nice when you've gone without it for a long time. So, Lord, thank you for the rain and keep it coming, if it be your will. But yeah, that's a great question, Amy. And let's just dive right in. Improving your home's efficiency doesn't have to mean expensive upgrades, Amy. Now you hear oftentimes, replace your windows, a bunch of new insulation, do this, do that, and it adds up. And I understand that. And for most of those things, like windows and new doors and new insulation, it takes a while to get your money back, a return of your investment, or a return on your investment. You can get a return on your investment pretty quickly, but a return of your investment, particularly when some of these window places, and I try to avoid using names, but let's just say Andersen Windows. I've seen some of those contracts, and they're high, they're expensive, but they're good. I mean, they're a good product. But how realistic is it to get in your lifetime? How much savings would you have to have? But of course, that's not all that goes into the equation. Is what the folks at Andersen would say. They'd say, well, it's comfortable, it's quieter, it's less dirty. There's going to be less infiltration from dust, particularly this time of year. Or this part of this time of year, yes, winds are high and it's hadn't been raining, so there's a lot of dust out there. But this part of the country as well, because we're in a drier climate and a lot of wind and sand, and particularly if you're out in the country, like a lot of our members are, there's not many windbreaks. And in town, you don't feel the wind as much because you've got a neighbor on either side of you. You got mature landscaping. You've got a 6-foot fence, and you really don't feel the wind. You go out in the country, on the same day, and it feels like it's a tornado out there almost. Tumbleweeds blowing around everywhere. I'm about fed up with it. I love country living, but oh man, this time of year when the wind's blowing is no fun. But yeah, it doesn't have to be expensive to do a few things that can save you money. And like I said, we're all kind of in that same boat, Amy. By the time we've paid, house payment, utilities, cell phone, internet, clothes, a little bit of entertainment if you want to spoil yourself occasionally, food. Somebody might have somebody in college, so you're paying tuition, books, and they got to live somewhere, so you got that rent, and so things add up. So let's dive in again and see exactly where we can save a little money with low or no cost ideas. Start with the invisible leaks. Air leaks are one of the biggest energy wasters. Walk around your home and check for drafts in your windows, doors, and outlets. Yes, outlets. They have drafts as well, particularly those on the outside walls. And if you don't have much insulation on those outside walls, there's going to be some drafts there. Take off the plate. You can, on a windy day, and you can just feel the air moving through those. You can seal small gaps with inexpensive weather stripping or caulk. Even something as simple as adding a draft stopper under the doors can help keep cooled air inside and hot air outside. That cool air is conditioned air, right? Particularly the warmer it gets. That conditioned air is expensive, so we want to keep that stuff trapped in the house. We don't want it to leak out. And of course, here's a bit of advice, and just it's science, but warm air is trying to come to cool air. Cool air is trying to go to cold air. So you're always going to be fighting that battle. Your cooled air is going to try to get outside to the warm air, and the warm air is trying to get into the cooled, conditioned air. So you will be fighting that. So weather stripping helps. Caulk around all windows. When in doubt, caulk is what I say, and use like a clear silicone caulk. And watch a video on YouTube how to lay down a bead of caulk, how to smooth it out. Sometimes I find the wet end of my finger, in a 90-degree corner is real handy. As long as there's not too much caulking in there, you spread it out, it stays nice and smooth. The clear silicone caulk is flexible and it's weatherproof, and you can see the paint through it, so it's really, really handy. Use your thermostat more strategically. If you don't already have one, a programmable or smart thermostat can make a big difference. But even without buying anything, adjusting your habits helps. Set temperatures a few degrees higher when you're away or sleeping. This reduces how often your AC kicks on and off. And of course, that on and off is that cycling of your AC is going to put wear and tear on your equipment, both outdoor and indoor, and will shorten the life of that equipment. So the less you use it, the longer it's going to last, right? Take advantage of spring weather. Oh, yes, this is a good one. Take advantage of spring weather. Cool mornings and evenings are free air conditioning. This is what my wife and I do. Open windows to create cross ventilation and close them, plus blinds and curtains, before the day heats up to trap the cooler air inside. We've talked about whole home fans. That initial cost is right up there between $1,500 maybe and $2,200. But man, this time of year, a whole home fan, you need to look that up on YouTube or go back on our Facebook page, Morning Buzz with the Energy Guy, and look at that video that I put up about whole home fans assisted by an attic fan. And, it's pretty crazy when you can exchange all the stale air within your home, bringing in fresh air from outside in like every 3 minutes. Something like that. I forget the exact, but it's something to that effect. It's certainly not more than 10 minutes of running. It's like 3 minutes and you can exchange all the stale air. And, sometimes we cook bacon, right? And we smell it for days. And it's frustrating to us guys guys that like me that like a lot of bacon, because we kind of forget about that we had bacon on Saturday morning. And Monday after work, I come home and I'm like still smelling the bacon. I'm like, oh man, breakfast for supper? Man, I'm excited. And she goes, no, that's the smell from Saturday morning. And I'm like, oh. And she says, yeah, we're having cabbage, And I do like cabbage. I'm just joking, but I was trying to think something that maybe a lot of people don't like. Yeah, we're having cabbage and meatloaf. And that's for some that could be disappointing. For me, that's a delicacy. So, but we've been for the last couple of weeks, it's been cool at night, particularly last night and the night before. I mean, it was getting down into the 40s, and we had a little cross draft created just by opening a couple of windows, and man, I froze, and so did she. And our dog's trying to figure out how to get under the covers. And this was crazy, but man, it smelled so good in our bedroom, just fresh, like spring air. Oh, it was nice, especially after that little shower we had yesterday. It was really nice. Switch to LED bulbs. You haven't heard that before, have you? If you still have incandescent bulbs or even the CFLs, replacing them with LED is one of the cheapest upgrades with immediate impact. And so the impact for replacing incandescent bulbs is just automatically lowering the wattage consumption. Okay, and by lowering it, say you have 100-watt light bulb that you're using. You replace it with a 15-watt LED. Well, you're going to have 85% savings, basically, right? If I did that math correctly. And the color's good, and it matches the. There's a lot of colors to choose from with the LEDs, and if you like that warmer light, the lower uh, degree Kelvin, they call it. So about a 2700 degree to 3000 degree Kelvin color is like yellow, warmer light. And then the brighter white, that's real bright white or almost a blue tint to it, is the higher Kelvin, the cool, and they call it cool light. It's up in the 4500 to 5000 Kelvin range. You can choose, and then there's some you can just the whole spectrum is there from warm to cold, everything in between. But so the color is good. So and that's one way they have an advantage over CFLs. The CFLs don't have full potential light. It takes about 3 or 4 or more seconds, depending how old the light bulb is, to get full potential brightness. With an LED, it's automatic, and the color's really good. So even the CFL bulbs are good. They're efficient, and they last a long time, but not like LED. LED lights, and I can't even imagine what might be out there that's going to be better technology than the LED. But they're lasting 20, 25 years at 3 hours a day, so that's pretty good. I mean, for some of us old fogies like me, I might be changing a bulb today that I'll never have to change again before the end of my life. So it's pretty crazy to think about, but I'm going to start moving pretty quick, and we're 21 and a half minutes after. So I'm going to skip one of them, the Phantom Electronics. They just don't use enough to worry about too much. It's just too much trouble. So we'll just move on. Clean and replace HVAC filters. A dirty filter makes your system work harder, using more energy. Filters are usually inexpensive, and cleaning or replacing them regularly improves airflow and efficiency right away. So at least look at them every month. If they look decent, go ahead and put them in for another month. But don't necessarily go beyond 2 months. Go ahead and change them, say, every other month. Don't buy the most expensive one. Buy kind of a middle range one. You can find those at local hardware stores where you're hearing this. You can buy them at the big box stores, or you can order them online. We prefer you try to buy them at a local hardware store because you're helping out your neighbor. So check those HVAC furnace filters. Yes, you've got a filter. You might not know you do, but it's near your air handler. But it's normally up if you've got an air handler furnace up in your ceiling, up in your attic, your filter is probably in the ceiling. Okay, there's a little vented plate up there, and it's probably got a couple of hooks on it, and you undo those, and it's hinged, and it'll fall down, and you can replace your furnace filter. And then if your furnace is in a hallway in a closet, then it's probably towards the bottom of that. Open it up, and it'd be towards the bottom of that, and just make sure you change those. Change them while the system's off, so there's not a draw on it, and you can get it out easily. And plus, you don't want dust to be pulled into it without a filter, so you want to make sure while it's running, at all times, you want a filter in place. Adjust your water heating habits. Hot water uses a lot of energy. Try washing clothes in cold water and lowering your water heater temperature slightly, say around 120 degrees Fahrenheit typically. Fixing small leaks also prevents waste of hot water. So if you've got a bathroom faucet that's leaking on hot or cold, you want to fix either one, but particularly hot, because it's going to drain your tank, and it's going to start the cycle and start those, whether it be gas heating your water or electric, it's going to start heating that water that's being replaced with fresh water source if your hot water is leaking. And the same with the kitchen. If you've got a leak in there, you want to address that. Also, washing clothes in cold water. Most of the detergent nowadays is formulated for cold water, so don't be afraid to do that. Use ceiling fans correctly. Set fans to spin counterclockwise in the warmer months. They push down cool air and create a comfortable downdraft. Shade matters more than you think. Close blinds or curtains on sunny days of your home during the hottest part of the day. If you want a no-cost outdoor trick, even rearranging patio furniture or using temporary shade like a tarp or umbrella near windows can reduce heat gain. So, with that in mind, my wife and I got a tree. So I'm going to call this plant a tree. So plant a tree. My wife and I bought a small pine oak tree recently. We've had it for about a week, so we really need to get it planted. Probably going to do it this weekend. But we gave a lot of consideration on where we were going to plant it. It should be strategic. Ask yourself, not only should the new tree look symmetric and pleasing to the eye, should it also serve a practical purpose? Yes. We will likely plant ours on the west side of our house, and in the heat of the summer, the thick foliage will block the sun from the window on the west side that is going to be nearest during the hottest part of the day. This will naturally help keep your home cool and allow your AC to work less and perhaps extend its life expectancy. So there's something to think about. So even planting a tree can be part of your strategic plan. Now, trees can be a little more costly, and Amy was asking about no cost, but you can find trees out there that are shade trees at a reasonable price. Maybe you wait towards the end of the season where they're marking some trees down. Then they may not look great. They may look like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree before it was decorated, but go ahead and plant it, and then at least next spring you'll have that new growth and new life and be able to enjoy it. Do a simple home energy check-up. Many utility companies offer free and discounted home energy audits. We actually do a quick and dirty audit. If it's something you want, we can come out and put another set of eyes on something. We don't necessarily have a blower door where we can check pressure in your house and see where it's leaking. We can do some practical things, but it is worth checking into. And just give me a call here at Farmers Electric, if you're a member of Farmers Electric, and just ask for the energy guy. And I'll return your call if I'm busy and has to go to voicemail. But anyway, that's about it on that. We do want to save a few minutes here. We're 27 minutes after the hour and 42 seconds. This day in history, birthdays, May 2nd. Dwayne Johnson, born in 1972, also known as The Rock. You know him. David Beckham, 1975, born on May 2nd, this day in history. And he's a legendary soccer player, and apparently people look to him for his style, so his clothes and that kind of thing. Music, here's one, Engelbert Humperdinck. My mom was a big fan of his. He was born in 1936, May 2nd, 1936. Famous for the classic ballads like Release Me. Lou Gramm, now he's one of my favorites. His birthday is today, May 2nd, and he is 76 years old. Hard to believe. Lou Gramm, lead vocalist for the band Foreigner. My favorite album, I believe, was 1984, 85-ish, maybe 85, called Agent Provocateur. A lot of great hits on there, like I Want to Know What Love Is, and That Was Yesterday, and a bunch of others. Donovan McNabb was born May 2nd, 1976. Not a big fan of Donovan McNabb because I'm a Cowboy fan, and Donovan McNabb played for the Philadelphia Eagles. But he was a great quarterback, great athlete. I have to respect him for that. This day in history, May 2nd, here's some major historical events. 1945, Soviet forces captured Berlin during World War II. Or is that World War XI? No, it's II. I'm joking. I'm not that dumb. Signaling the imminent collapse of Nazi Germany. 2011, Osama bin Laden was killed by U.S. forces in Pakistan, making a major moment in the fight against terrorism after the September 11th attacks. Osama bin Laden met his fate May 2nd, 2011. 1997, Tony Blair led the Labour Party to a landslide victory in the United Kingdom general election, becoming one of the youngest prime ministers in modern British history. Now, I thought this was cool. 1611, the King James Bible was first published in London, becoming one of the most influential books in the English language, and has since been translated to every spoken language on earth. And I think the King James Bible, or at least the Holy Bible, is the best-selling book of all times, which it should be. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for episode 40. And we will see you next time on, wait for it, Morning Buzz with the Energy Guy. See you next week.